Patti Melt in the house, people. Oh my God. Oh, mate. This week, a Patti Melt, but I'm gonna do a tour de force Patti Melt. I'm gonna talk you through every element. I've got a few twists that like ramp it up and some key things that you need to do to absolutely smash it out the park. The big problem with Patti Melt is that the patty is dry. For me, what's got to be in there is my secret weapon, which is the trim from aged steaks, and it's from the ribeye section, so it's from in between the bones. Rib meat, absolutely key, vital, because you need that fat content. We're looking for at least 20% fat content. Then the next one is that we're using brisket. Now brisket is the type of meat that you would cook very low and slow. It might take 6 hours. It needs to be cooked traditionally when it's a primal cut for a much longer period. It's bringing different flavor to the table. And then what we've got is a sirloin, which kind of sits between the two, those different spectrums of beefy flavor that are just gonna absolutely get that patty into that perfect place. Let's start with getting the onions done. So I need some brown sugar. I haven't got any. I've got some jaggery. What you basically want is some sweetness, some sugar element, but you want about 2 tablespoons into the pan. So the first stage is we want to get the onions super sweet, delicious and caramelized. So that's why the sugar's in there. It begins that caramelization process, and we get the bone marrow at this point as well to start bleeding out that beef butter that's going to bring the onion thing together. So 10 minutes, watch them like a hawk, flip them halfway, and then the next stage. Once you drop the red wine vinegar in and it starts bubbling away, lid on. And what that's going to do is the red wine vinegar is going to clear all that beautiful flavour that's been caught on the bottom of the pan, and that's all going to reduce into the onions. It's going to be so good. Should we grind some beef? Take your 3 cuts and cut them into chunks. Then put them into your food grinder on a coarse setting and pass all the way through. Then change the setting to medium and pass again. Once that's done, we're going to season with some salt, and it's time to cook your patty. Now, when you're doing a Patti Melt or a smash burger, what you're looking for is the caramelization, both for flavor and for texture. If you handle the meat lightly, and then you've got more bumps and it looks more like a sort of like a ball rather than a patty, that's good. Then what I do is I put a little bit of grease proof down on the burger, and then I'm looking for something square and quite dominant so it can push the whole thing down. Okay, so that's cooked, turning it off, I'm putting a bowl over and we set it aside. Perfect. It's exactly how it's supposed to happen. So what I've done is, I've cooked it in its own fat, I put a bowl on it to let the steam there, it's going to help bring the onions back up to speed. It's going to melt that cheese. I get another pan, put it back on the stove, and now we're going to build the patty in a pan so it keeps it all nice and toasty and makes it delicious. Mate, I feel like I'm cheating on my wife. It's that naughty. The patty's moist, and you can tell that it's amped up because it's been cooked in beef dripping. It's got the bone marrow onions that are sweet but meaty. And you put mayonnaise or mustard on how you see fit, but it really needs the mustard. Typically in America, they do it with rye bread. Getting rye at the supermarket here can be a bit challenging, but this sourdough works sweet as. And the first Patti Melt used sourdough. Just look at this. I'm supposed to be doing the sign off, but it's so good. I'm sorry, I just need to go on a bit more, but increase the peace, spread the love, subscribe to the channel, more great recipes and chef visits coming your way. Everything's okay. It is. It is.